For years now, Americans Nancy and David Writebol have helped people much less fortunate than them in places like Africa.
Yeah, the need is great. If there's suffering in any part of the world, it really affects all of the world. We can't just turn a blind eye to that.
Nancy Writebol saw that suffering firsthand this past summer in Liberia while caring for Ebola patients as a nursing assistant in a hospital run by the missionary organization SIM. Suddenly, one day in July, she began feeling ill herself.
Went home at the end of my shift that day and called one of our doctors and said, you know, I kind of think I have malaria.
It wasn't malaria. She'd contracted Ebola.
You know, I had seen all of our patients who had come into the isolation unit. I saw what it did to their bodies, and I knew at that point that I could die.
It's the most pain and the sickest she's felt in her life.
You know, there's diarrhea, there's dehydration, just this weakness, fever. There were some very difficult days and difficult hours.
She was flown to a hospital in Atlanta, Georgia, where there was slow improvement. One day, her doctor told her she turned a corner.
I just remember all I could say to him was, praise God. It was just an amazing feeling to know that you're going to survive.
The Writebols say doctors, the experimental drug Z-MAP, and the couple's strong faith helped her conquer a disease they believe the world urgently needs to tackle head-on, a disease they argue it still doesn't fully understand.
I think there's a lot of fear. I think there's a lot of, well, it's not our problem.
There's no legal action against.
They're concerned that quarantines like the one recently imposed on a nurse who just returned from West Africa could make medical professionals think twice about volunteering to treat Ebola patients themselves.
To put a blanket quarantine on anybody and everybody is probably an overreaction.
We need to loosen up a little.
The past several months have been a whirlwind for the Writebols, who've been inundated with media attention. They're in Wichita, Kansas now visiting family. A return to Liberia is not out of the question, but first they say it's time to catch their breath.
I could see us going back, yes.
No hesitation.
Well.
Thank you.
This couple is sure of one thing: giving back will definitely be part of their future.
We're so thankful that we're still together, and we have more work to do.
Hendrik Sybrandy, CCTV, Wichita, Kansas.